We talk about the change of the smartphone in Vietnam from 2013 until now. Over 5 billion people own a mobile device. A smartphone is a smart computer that can make a constant roll of things. Mobile wallet, smart home, two factors authentication, mobile commerce. In 2011, about 35% of Americans had a smartphone. By 2021, this number increased to around 85%. 96% of young people have a smartphone. People who use a smartphone often live in city, have come to college, and earn at least $75,000 per year. Value chains for the smartphone. Xiaomi, primary activity, inbound logistics. Xiaomi have a good partnership with the manufacturers in Taiwan, Inventec, Honghai, Wintec, GBK, and Nikon. YTXMC is the primary processor supplier for the Xiaomi. The phone internet company is in 70 countries. Xiaomi have over 155 stores until 2017. Xiaomi often use a strategy called hunger marketing. Xiaomi broke the record of the 2.12 million sold units in just one day. Xiaomi had to focus more on customer caring. Supportive activities. The company sell a lot of money on buying things because they order a lot. Xiaomi followed the strategy of the keeping costs low and not spend a lot of money on research and development. HR management with the internet has around 18,000 workers with a simple organization structure. The raw material instruction need 75 elements on the periodic table. The Chinese is the biggest provider of the resource. Component manufacturing include circuit board, antenna, LCD, microphone. China is the biggest maker of the smartphone in the world. Testing checks the physical equipment and computer programs. Packaging and transportation create a positive image in a customer mind, especially some Samsung. They distribute products by distributor, retailer, and wholesalers. Sales in UX number reached 78% in 2020 and predict to reach nearly 70% by 2025. Low price, higher income, more what customer want, more money, better design, more charger, more channels, less reliable phones, wider market area, increase the smartphone demand. More features and ability, more seller, cheaper components, cheaper smartphone, increase the smartphone supply. Expensive smartphones have the highest demand electricity. Older cheaper phone make less sensitive demands. The cost price electricity of each smartphone model is around zero, and the demand changes more when the people's income changes. Government intervention. Most governments don't set the tax for the smartphone device. Europe regulates one phone manufacturers to provide professional repair in order to make the smartphone totally easier to repair and reduce the impact on the environment in Europe.
Specialization is a particular area of knowledge. Adolescents are becoming an expert in a particular area. For example, there are many companies participating in reducing the smartphone. The customer have many selections. The second is the exchange. Exchange means giving something or taking something back. For example, customer can buy and purchase in many ways. The government policy intervention. The government policies is the rules or the principle that hopefully better guides decisions, resulting in positive outcome that enhance the communities or unit. And governments can effect in a market by price control, tax qualification, and also it can make them more popular and accessible. The government policies to remedy the market future. So a market future is when there is an inefficient distribution of goods and services that lead to a lack of equilibrium in a grey market. For example, you got Nokia and LG. To remedy the market future, government have many policies to help them or other producers through new laws and trade restrictions. Firm interactions in the different market structure. The first one is the right competitiveness that many Chinese companies use general chips like a higher performance with the cheaper price. The second is the unification products. For example, Samsung with the foldable phone, Z Phone and Z Clips. And the third one is the marketing by the advertise and the copy.
Next is different macroeconomic indicators that related to the changes of smartphones. First is income per capita. Had increased in many countries and led to an increase in the demand for high-end smartphones. High-end smartphones have features as better cameras, more storage, and longer battery life. Second is price of smartphones has fallen in recent years, more affordable for people in lower income countries. The global smartphone market has increased. Thus is demography change in recent years, more young people entering the workforce and having more disposable income, an increase in the demand for smartphones among young people. Next is mobile phone subscriptions has increased in recent years due to the increasing availability of mobile networks around the world. And the last is technological innovations play a role in the changes in smartphones. New features add touch screens, 4G connectivity, and fingerprint sensors. Next is the impact of macroeconomic policies on smartphone markets. First is fiscal policies. Fiscal policy affects the smartphone markets through government spending and taxation decisions. Second is monetary policies affect the smartphone markets through interest rate and money supply. Next is exchange rate policy. Moreover, other factors can affect the smartphone market such as technological innovation, consumer preferences, the actions of competitors. Next is the impact of macro variables. First is inflation. Second is unemployment. Next is interest rate. Last is exchange rates. Next is possible impacts and fiscal and monetary policies. These consist of 10 main elements.
So first thing I want to talk in my talk will be fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost will be the cost that business has to pay but not depend on the quantity, while the variable cost which can depend on the production level of the sales company. Some example of fixed cost will be the allowance and salary of the worker of the manager, as well as the cost of branding factory that will be on contract and very unlikely to change in the near future. However, the cost of shipping, packaging, and marketing will change very quickly depending on the scale of the company or the policy. The next thing I want to talk about is market structure of the smartphone. They belong to oligopoly market structure. They have few big firms that will be the main layer in this field. There are some features in this market will be the high barrier to entry, because the very high level of competition in this market, as well as the product will have some differentiation, and like I said before, there are very few dominant firms in here, like Apple or Samsung. If you look at the screen, they hold together 50%, more than 50% the market share. Comparative advantage because some of them will be the advanced technology like 5G, Arab AI system, and also the ecosystem. That one is the battery life. In this day and day, very hectic. You want to have a very long battery life, so have you to use your phone more without charging. And we have rise and demand a very important factor too. So when we develop the smartphone, we will also improve the user quality of life as well as expanding market. And we want to use for effectively optimize the production process so we can save energy, we can have natural. We also want to use recycle product so we can reduce the amounts where we release into the natural, and we want the corporate to survive in long term.
So that's it for our presentation. Thank you for listening. And this is our member as well the reference list. Thank you for listening.